Hi, welcome to this class. Now, in this class, we'll be looking at how to combine multiple columns in SQL in particular, but we will start from Google Sheet just to give, like a kind of head start for people who might already be used to Google Sheet. And so then they can easily relate it to SQL. Um, if you do not understand Google Sheet, but you would like to also learn, you could also, just watch this part of the course, or you could maybe just, skip or wait just a few seconds and then we will dig it down in SQL. Now, assuming we have been given this data set and we have been told because this data set is just a data set of budget, and basically you have different categories, you have different amounts and account and all these kind of things. Now maybe we have been given the task to basically put for each category to put some kind of amount by the side of it. So in this case, what most Google experts or probably Excel might do is to put something that they call a concatenate function. Now, the concatenate function is used like this, and then they put a concat, and then they put the first value, so which is basically D2, and then they select the second value, which is E2, right? And then when you concatenate, you'll see that it joins the two columns together. And then you can basically run down, which makes it applies the same logic to the rest of the data set. So this is like the combined column. Now, in similar fashion, when we go to SQL, we see that we have this data set. Now, the data set is basically consisting of different country codes, country names, and country area. So when we try to run this query, right, we could basically do something like what we did in the previous section, where we could basically come and say we want to select star. So basically what we do here is we select all the columns back, but then we want to have an extra column that has the country name with the country code in front of it, right? So here we could also use the same function, which is concat, right? The same function exactly as it is in Excel, and then we could use it here. And then here we will just basically say, so to put the country name, right? And then we put a comma, and then we put the country code. So when we run this query, what do we get? So we get the country name and then the country code, and it's looking like this. So basically this is country name code. Let's just call it country name code. So we have this new column, which is basically combining the country name and then the country code. Now, maybe we look at this country name code column and we do not like the way it looks because it doesn't really look really good. And maybe we just want to have some kind of modification, maybe we want to put this in some kind of brackets. So in SQL, you could also include, maybe you could, be very flexible with it. So you want the country name first, and then maybe you want some kind of space, right? And so here you could basically introduce like an empty, quote, and then you put a comma. So basically it's going to concatenate this and then space and then the code. So when you run the query now, you have something like this as well. Also, maybe you do not really like the way it's looking here. Maybe you would like to put this country code in some kind of bracket. So what you could do here is you could basically also include this as a next part. So you have your right, and so you put a comma and then you come here. So what does this basically do now? It basically takes the country name, put a space in front of it, then put a bracket, and then puts the country code and puts the bracket behind of it. And then we name it the country name code. And so when you run the query now, you will see that automatically you get the country name and then you get the country code. And so here you have the data set in the way you like to have it. So you have the country name, the space, and then the country code in front of it. So this is how you can actually combine columns or maybe characters. In SQL, and uh, we could basically meet in the next one. So thank you.